Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. On the show, get your running gear on for the Humberston Fun Run, and we'll go very formal for the Regency Ball. My guest tonight is Derek O'Connell, who's delivering a talk on Ruhleben internment camp. But first, it's over to James Dunn for the news.
Hello, in the headlines today, warnings over smoke inhalation after a large fire in Scunthorpe, and police officer finds himself in a bit of a close shave. Humberside Fire and Rescue have advised people to seek medical advice if they feel they were affected by smoke from a huge fire at a plastics recycling plant in Scunthorpe. Crews were called to Thompson's Waste on Winterton Road just after 6 p.m. on Tuesday, but fought the blaze well into the next morning. Thick smoke could be seen from miles around, and the fire service advised people in the area to stay indoors with their windows closed. They've now reiterated advice from Public Health England advising that smoke is an irritant and can especially affect people already suffering from respiratory illnesses such as asthma. The service advised anyone with symptoms such as sore eyes, skin or chest to seek medical attention. A German contractor has been killed after an accident at a cement-making factory in South Ferriby. Humberside police have confirmed he is a German national, but have not yet named the victim. He had been working on repairs at the Cemex plant after damage was done in December's flooding. Police say his family have been informed. A Humber lifeboat has had a brand new thermal imaging camera installed which could save lives on search and rescue missions at night. It will help crew members find objects and people a significant distance away and in poor visibility due to either darkness or weather conditions. Dave Roberts, chairman of Humber Rescue, said they had always recognised the value in such equipment, but affording it was a different matter. But careful management of funds and more local businesses coming on board has freed up finances to buy this new equipment. A new £5 million business advisory service has been launched to support the development of renewables and environment technology in the region. It's called the Great Project, and recently appointed director Dr. Victoria Dunn says she believes the green economy will bring jobs to the region and prepare the country for the future. They've arranged 2 events in the coming month, a talk on energy from waste on May the 13th and another entitled Grab a Slice of the Energy Pie on June the 2nd. If you fancy a slice of culture after dark, then this event is for you. The Museums at Night Festival is happening nationwide, and various special events will be taking place at local venues across Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire. Among those hosting events from the 15th to the 17th of May are the Visual Arts Centre in Scunthorpe and the North Lincolnshire Museum, Grimsby Minster and the Abbey Walk Gallery, also in Grimsby.
Right, Museums at Night is a cross-heritage project across the town involving lots of venues staying open late into the evening, encouraging families and children to come out and really explore the history and the heritage of the town. So here at the Minster we are offering a gruesome trail because there are bits and pieces in this Minster that are a little bit on the scary side. We've got Sir Thomas Haslerton, who's a knight who was buried here, actually coming to life, and he'll be making an appearance.
And it's just created real momentum. So going from 1 night last year to 3 nights of events this year and involving so many different people, not just the artists, but the actors, the poets, the musicians, and just involving all the arts organisations in Grimsby together to actually get us all working together has got to be a benefit.
Things got a bit hairy in the Mayor's Parlour this week when Community Support Officer Andy Stead shaved his beard off in front of the Mayor of North East Lincolnshire. It was all for a good cause, as Andy was doing it for the Mayor's charities and managed to raise over £100. Until now, PCSO Stead, whose ward includes the Freshney, hadn't had a shave for 10 years and his wife had never seen him without it.
So I've been growing my beard for about 10 years now, and I've heard about the good work they made us for charity, and I just wanted to support her in that. It was initially said in jest, and the idea grew on me, and yeah, I've decided to get rid of it.
After the shave, Andy said it was well worth it.
Not as bad as I expected, no, but it's just not me when I look in the mirror.
I think he looks absolutely fabulous. And I'm very grateful that he's done it, and I know the charities will be as well. He's raised a lot of money.
Well, I'm afraid that's all from me. I'll see you for the next bulletin.
We hope you all enjoyed the bank holiday weekend. If you weren't doing DIY or having a barbecue, you might have decided to get outside in the fresh air and do some exercise. And if so, you weren't alone. As you may have heard on yesterday's news, more than 500 people took part in this year's Humberston Fun Run on Sunday. Our man James Dunn went along to break some records.
It's a tradition that's been observed in this village for a quarter of a century. Every year, everyone from the elite to the exotic line up to complete the course around Humberston.
Yeah, she got a round of applause round there. Just coming back, everyone applauded her, didn't they? Oh, bless her. Yeah, she did really well.
Organisers, the Humberston and North Sea Lions, doubled last year's fundraising target, raising a whopping £1,890, which they hand out to local causes all year round.
In our last year, we actually donated £12,000 into our local community to over 40 different causes, from thousands of pounds into big events down to with 7 lots of less than £100.
It was a family affair at the front this year as twins Thomas and Luke Nuttall took first and second place in around 15 minutes.
Last season it was him the other way around, so he was beating me all the time, but it's kind of changed this year slightly, hasn't it?
Yeah. But it's not about winning, it's about coming together as a community.
I think it's great that everybody can participate, whether you're a baby in a stroller or being pushed by mum, or whether you are a fanatic runner or well into your sport. I think there's something for everyone.
I found it okay. I didn't stop at all. I managed to stay the full course without stopping. Really enjoyed it, especially now finished. No matter what age, you're right across the board. And it's just a fun run, so everybody should enjoy it.
And if you think the 3-mile course sounds awfully big, well, look where little Charlie Burrell placed out of 500 runners.
I made it and I'm really proud of the.
And so you should be. So should they all. James Dunn, Estuary TV News. Now you lot, hydrate.
Yes!
Now, many people like the weekend as a chance to let their hair down and have a good time, but if, like me, nightclubs aren't quite your scene, there are some more distinguished social circles enjoying a different sort of evening out. Last weekend, we said goodbye to modern dance and tripped the light fantastic with an elegant jig. Here's a glimpse of our evening at the Horncastle Regency Festival.
It's the highlight of the social calendar for the most notable of Lincolnshire lords and ladies. Horncastle Regency Festival welcomes only the most distinguished guests, so naturally, Estuary TV were there.
Good evening, sir. I am Lady Carlton. I would have thought, sir, you would have recognised me. My husband is awfully well known in town.
There was food, dancing and plenty of gayness in 4 days of posh frolicking, with a finale at the majestic stately home Gunby Hall. So we met a few of the Mr. Darcys and Lady Bennets who came from far and wide.
Oh, well, my name is Lady Susan.
And I'm the third son of the third wife of the Maharaja of Kashmir.
I'm Sir Percival Ponsonby of Ponsonby Hall. I don't know who the devil you are, sir, and I don't know what this conflagratory thing you have here. Probably something to do with the French, I shouldn't wonder.
We are terribly caught up with the entertainment, sir. My husband is a very, very busy businessman, but we have come back to our country residence up here in quiet little Lincolnshire.
We had an arduous 5-day journey from the North Bank via Selby.
One of the reasons for me being here this evening is that I'm looking for a young man for my daughter Frederica.
Oh, our journey, sir, was terribly taxing.
Yes, I think in future if a bridge over the Humber could be built, it would benefit both the people of East Riding and Lincolnshire.
As it just so happens is that, well, if my daughter doesn't like him, I'm a widow, so I would quite like to take him up myself.
But we're here mainly to drink and dance and generally have a wonderful time. Not worry too much about the poor. They've got the prisons, they've got the farms. So I'm here really to chase the fillies, and really I want to be getting off now if you don't really mind. Cheerio.
How dare you, sir? I'm not a mature woman.
But it's more than 4 days of fun. Some of the dancers practice at venues all over Lincolnshire all year round.
Well, the highlights are the dancing, obviously. Most members are members because they love doing Regency dancing. They obviously love to get dressed up in period costume as well. And as soon as you put on the attire, it makes one feel a more dignified and refined kind of person. It's good to see members of the public interacting with us and showing enthusiasm. For example, when we were in Woodhall Spa yesterday, numerous people came up and asked us who we were, what we were doing, why we were there. And so we think on the whole it's been a tremendous success.
And those at the Netherfield Ball will be green with envy. But that's, I'm afraid, all for this summer season. So, from me, Lord Sussex, and from him,
Sir Mostyn Mannering Malhurish of Northlands Manor, it's cheerio.
And cheerio indeed.
To commemorate the centenary of the start of the First World War, North East Lincolnshire Library Service is hosting a series of talks about the conflict as part of Local and Community History Month. Ruhleben is a talk by Derek O'Connell, who joins me now. Derek, many thanks for coming. Welcome. Ruhleben internment camp was a place just outside Berlin, which was opened at the beginning of the First World War. Who is there?
Men from all over Britain and the British Empire, but of local significance were the men who were involved in the fishing industry and merchant fishing, who were either captured in German ports or in German waters at the outbreak of the war. Ruhleben camp had formerly been a racecourse in Spandau, on the edge of the industrial area of Spandau, and it had been a racecourse and had held all sorts of events. And then the men were interned and originally put on, held in police prison cells and held on board ships and all sorts of things. And eventually the racecourse was turned into an internment camp. And so you had men from all over the British Empire being held in horse stables, effectively, at the beginning.
And it's important to distinguish, this was an internment camp for civilians who happened to be in Germany at the outbreak of the First World War. It wasn't a military prisoner of war camp in any way.
No, that's correct. It wasn't a prisoner of war camp in that sense. It wasn't serving military men. It was civilians from all sorts of walks of life, and many of which actually believed themselves to be German. German citizenship at the time was extraordinarily hard to obtain, and so you had many people who spoke German, thought German, owned German businesses, but they didn't officially have German citizenship, so they were still counted as being British.
At the start, there were people living in stables, as you said, but how did the community of the camp develop?
Well, originally the camp was run by the German authorities, the military authorities, and they had a number of problems. And of course, during the war, civilian internment was quite a low priority. So the food was bad, the living conditions were very bad. There was no drainage within the camp, so if it rained, it turned into a quagmire. Medical provision was very scant, but as time went on, the German authorities passed the running of the camp over to the internees themselves, and they had a system of, there were barracks and there were captains of the barracks, and these were generally people who could speak German. It was a real advantage.
And they developed their own culture there. They had magazines and music and theatre.
Very rich, eventually, a very rich cultural and sporting life, because they were given no work to do. So all the time, you know, all the duration they were there, they had to find means of entertaining themselves.
Remind us, when and where will you be giving the talk?
I will be delivering the talk at Waltham Library on the 13th of May, and the talk commences at 2:30.
Derek, thank you very much. That's all from us for today. If you have any stories, please email news@estuary.tv or contact us via Twitter or Facebook, or pick up the phone and give us a call on 01472 315561. Until tomorrow, goodbye.